Muted everyone. Does anyone have a question? Like to ask?
I have a question, Stuart. What role does the sexual center have to play in the meditation? I know it's like pretty close to the one point. I don't know if you lump the navel, the sex, and the one point together, or
Point does what have to?
like the sexual chakra. Do you lump the navel, the one point, and the sex chakra together, or are they distinct?
They're distinct chakras.
Mm-hmm.
Look, the navel chakra is balance, foundation. Sexual energy is transformation, merging the yin and the yang. There's a marriage of the yin and the yang, the male, female in the sexual chakra that gives birth to kundalini. They're distinct chakras, and each one has a separate purpose in terms of the evolution of your inner life. So the navel chakra, as I always say, I talk about this almost in every class, is where the chi is, the power, the rootedness, strength, and mastering that and opening that and building chi enables energy to move through the sexual area. And it's the area of rebirth. It's the area where it's Tantra, it's where the yin, the yang, the yab-yum, the male-female principle unifies. And in that unification, it activates or gives birth to kundalini. Kundalini is the pathway to enlightenment. Each of these areas are unique. They all work together. In order for us to grow, the entire chakra system has to open, and each chakra does its unique service. At the same time, everything is linked. One depends upon the other. If you're not grounded, the heart's not going to stay open. If the heart isn't open, then the mind is not going to be quiet. The throat isn't open, the same thing. The mind won't be quiet. Understand that the sexual energy is not open, then it's going to back up into the third chakra and create a lot of tension. They all work together. Each one has their own unique purpose. Does anyone else have a question I would like to ask? Somebody ask a question. No pressure. Yes.
At one point, you talked about a human needing to learn how to circulate the energy 7 times. Is that something you can talk about?
Yeah, there are 7 cycles of energy inside us. Each cycle is a refinement, of the energy and gets us closer and closer to a state of enlightenment. I mean, the first cycle is just learning how to be human, how to get the heart open, how to be grounded, how to get the mind quiet. Once that works and the human level is working, it makes room in us to receive spirit, to receive Shakti, energy from the universe. And then that energy will flow and cycle inside us 7 times. It's like a mandala. Each cycle refines our inner life, gets us closer and closer to a state of nothingness. That state of nothingness is a oneness with higher energy in the universe. There's no separation anymore between us and everything that exists in the universe. And that occurs as the energy makes the 7 cycles inside. I mean, I'm sure you all know what a mandala is, and basically that's the essence of what mandala is. It's the recycling of energy so that our system gets more and more refined, less and less full of ego and thoughts and mind, and closer to a oneness with higher energy in the universe, state of enlightenment. And, you know, I can't really talk about what happens in each cycle. I just know, I've learned that there are these 7 cycles. And their purpose is to just refine our inner lives to the point of a state of nothingness. There is no separation between us and God. Does anyone else have a question to ask?
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. No, it's a blessing to do this. And when you ask questions, I never know what questions are going to come at me. I feel like a shortstop on a Major League Baseball team being hit, you know, things left and right, and you got to field them all. It's pretty cool, you know, but at the same time, it's a miracle what comes out, what teachings come, how hopefully it helps not only you, but me to grow, to develop my inner life and your inner life. There can't be anything better than sharing and giving unconditionally. And when you give unconditionally, you can receive unconditionally.
Stuart, this is Jennifer.
Yes, Jennifer.
So those 7 cycles, do they happen in one class or over time?
Oh, I mean, this is a lifetime's work, Jennifer.
Okay, thank you.
Don't get yourself crazy that you got to do this in the next meditation class. This happens organically over a lifetime. You know, you slowly in each take it step by step, refining and refining. And it takes a lifetime. It's a lifetime's work. You know, you got to realize a lifetime in terms of, you know, energy in the universe is like a grain of sand on a beach. But in that lifetime, so many miracles take place. So much learning takes place. So much consciousness develops. So the life is not just 70 years. It's time becomes this miraculous thing that truly gives us the capacity to become one with God. It gives us time to be, it just depends upon how we use that time. It gives us karma. We need to work out karma. So we have families, we have friendships, we have jobs, we have economic things we have to deal with. We have all kinds of situations in a lifetime that are given to us so that we can learn how to get free of them. And the ultimate marriage, the ultimate union is a oneness with God, higher energy. But time gives us this opportunity to do this because we have karma, and karma brings so many different situations that we need to work out, that we need. And what do I mean by working out? You know, just learning how to forgive, to be compassionate, to be full of love, to, you know, the things I talk about all the time. That's how you work these things out. You know, somebody asked me in the class this afternoon, how can I forgive all of the things that have been done to my children, to me, to... So I said, if you don't forgive, you know, you're going to walk around with a pain in your heart for the rest of your life. And part of our work is building that system inside that can do that, can let go. We don't have to be stuck in the mud for a lifetime. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I do. Can you have an open heart, but not have emotion in it? Like,
you know, there's nothing wrong with emotions. Emotions make us juicy. You don't want to be a dried out human being. You need emotions. The problem is when the emotions are rage and anger and depression, and understand those are lower emotions that we get swept away in. And we can transform those lower emotions into love, to joy, to happiness. I mean, without emotions, people are like, you know, flayed human beings. I mean, they're just shells of themselves. You need emotions. But we can't get trapped in depression and anger and rage and futility and, you know, all those lower emotions that create quicksand. We live in quicksand. So our job is to get strong enough to transform those things into love, to compassion, to joy, happiness.
so if I don't have emotion, then is my heart closed?
Probably. Probably, yes. Yes. A lot of times we defend ourselves by not having emotions. We're afraid to get hurt. We're afraid to be vulnerable. We have to be vulnerable. We have to let people inside. We have to allow life to come into us, to teach us. Very important. We have to love. How do you get free of relationships unless you've had them and you're capable of learning from them and living with them? Same thing with money. How do you get free of money unless you've learned how to make it? It's easy to just reject. It's very difficult to earn things and learn how to be free of them. But then that's real freedom. Real freedom is the recognition we're dependent on everything. That's real freedom. Not walking away, rejecting, you know, that we're dependent. I mean, look at nature. You know, I mean, God, I don't want to get into this. I mean, everything that goes on, you know, the Amazon is disappearing and affects, you know, the Arctic, you know, affects the North Pole. I mean, everything is dependent on everything else in life. We are dependent upon so much. And real freedom is the embracing of life and the recognition how dependent we are on everything in life and not allowing that, you understand, to upset the inner balance within ourselves. You upset the inner balance in yourself, you're going to mess up nature. And that really is the problem here. You know, the inner balance of most human beings doesn't exist, you know, and it really affects the organic nature of the world, nature. Greed, you know, destroys inner balance, destroys nature. So, you know, emotions are very important. At least they allow us to be juicy, for God's sake. But there are many kinds of emotion. There's dark emotion and there's light emotion. Does anyone else have a question?
I do, Stuart. You talked about when the sex chakra is closed, it causes tension. When the heart chakra is closed, it can cause a lot of overthinking and heady. So can you just talk a little bit about opening those two, the sex and the heart chakras? And I know we work on it, but I feel like there's other things that I'm not opening to know.
I'll do this very quick. Heart chakra, gratitude. Just be grateful for what is in your life. Your heart chakra will open, it'll have wings. Just that simple. The sex chakra, you know, you bring a piece of your attention to the base of the spine and you consciously draw energy from the third chakra through the sex chakra to the base of the spine. That will activate kundalini, that will draw the energy through the sex chakra, where it enables it to undergo that tantric, you know, union of the abhyam, the yin, the yang, the male, female, and then the activation of kundalini. This is all not complicated. We just have to do it. Bring a piece of your attention to the base of the spine. 5% is all you need. That'll draw the energy through the sexual area to the base of the spine. And this has nothing to do with all the stuff that goes on in the world of, you know, this battle between men and women and me versus you. And it has nothing to do with any of that. That's all the lack of balance in people that creates all that madness. Once the balance is there, I mean, what problem do we have with people of the other sex? We only have problems if we're intimidated, threatened, and there's no balance inside ourselves. We're all male, female anyway. Does anyone else have a question? I mean, every human being is the earth and the sky. You know? When we cut these things off, you know, it stops raining inside us and the earth dries up. You know? But we're all the earth and the sky. We're all male, female. We're all a union of everything that exists on the planet Earth.
So, Stuart, speaking about balance, can you speak about how the planetary energies affect us? Like we're living in, we have the full moon today, and it's in the sign of balance of Libra and Aries, and it's the energies are so intense. They're so intensified that we get to see the polarities even more strongly, the positive and negative ones.
Well, Claudia, you just talked about it. There's nothing I have to add to that. Yes, we're affected by the movement of planets, stars. We're affected by, you know, hurricanes, by, you know, all kinds of stuff that goes on in nature, in the universe. You know, it's also one of the reasons why we have to be in tune, because when the chakra system is open, you're in tune with all of that. You understand? And then you can use it in your growth. I mean, you know, what goes on astrologically is not separate from what goes on inside a human being. I mean, I know in my book, Leah, I was talking the healing process. The guy, you know, the main character, David, is working with her. And he's, you know, the 7 chakras were the 7 planets. All the meridians were all the stars, the moons, the whole solar system that he was trying to bring into balance in order to heal this young girl of that cancer. It all works together. You know, the universe is a reflection of our inner life. And when there's full moon and there's this and that, you know, it's just a reflection of our inner life.
As above, so below kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't ask you questions about this because I believe in it very firmly that
Listen, I don't want to have a discussion about this. You know, I really don't. I respect your beliefs. I respect the beliefs of everyone here.
Yeah.
You know, and just, I'm not here to discuss your beliefs or my beliefs. I'm here to try to allow this energy force to come through me so that we can learn something, how we can use all these different beliefs to build a strong inner life. That's the purpose of these classes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? Okay. Wow, great questions. Bless you all, thank you. And will there be a class tomorrow evening? I hope to see everybody. And thanks. It's totally extraordinary. I have to send a thank you letter to the guy that invented Zoom.
Thank you.
I'm also happy to say I see Fernanda sitting right in front of, they've sold a bunch of my books already in Brazil. I'm really very nice. It's very exciting. It's just, I get a kick out of that. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
You too.